So, Mayor Horne, thanks so much for joining the We Rise podcast. We're so excited to have you. You are a huge point of inspiration for this project, and for a book that I'm working on right now too. You're on my heart a lot. I think about you and Dungannon, so it's really an honor for me to be able to talk with you today. So, thank you so much for taking the time. Would love to just
Thank you for asking.
yeah, hear a little bit about, what you've been working on, and how would you introduce yourself to folks who aren't familiar with you and your work? How do you engage with Dungannon and your broader community?
I use the example of my family. I have a wonderful husband that helps me in town with stuff that needs to be done that I'm not able to do. I have three beautiful children and five fabulous grandsons. And talking with them and listening to them and the things that they want in life and the things they want to do and things they would like to accomplish, then it's made me want to go out and talk with the kids here and the people in the community and get their feelings and thoughts of what's happened here in Dungannon. Has it been better for you? Has it been worse? Or how does the town feel about this? And
Hmm.
my family gives me that opportunity to learn from them on things that I need to work with in my community.
What are some of the things that you've been working on within your community over the last couple years or several years?
Uh, when you Several years ago, when you came into town, there wasn't all of our buildings were run down. We needed new facelifts. The children didn't have a playground in here to play on, and we didn't have a really good space for our community to come together to be able to spend time together to talk and to roast weenies or marshmallows or whatever. Now our town, we've tore down one of our old buildings. It's gone, and we've got a new square called the Baldwin Horton Square, which has a stage on it with quilt squares all the way around it that we painted. And we have a farmer's market now. On our farmer's market, we just got a month ago, I believe, some kids at school got together with this lady and they done painted a mural. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's got
Wow.
looks like the water coming down through there with the ducks, bears, deer, and they put this. The kids painted it, and then she adhered it to the wall up there, and it
Wow.
is absolutely gorgeous. Uh, we also have free Wi-Fi in town now. Uh,
That's
we
cool.
have our yes, our water bills can now be paid online, and our taxes can be paid online. You can pay with a debit card in town now.
That's
Um,
awesome.
what else have we? We got a all new decking around our depot. We've got new sidewalks. We got our
Oh,
sidewalks
cool.
finished in August, and we had to do without. We lost our trees and our lighting for our sidewalk because money wise with VDOT, things changed so quickly and money changed quickly and things got higher. And so we had to do without, but I got a hold of a guy that would, and talked to him. He had called me and wanted to know if there were some things that we needed in Dungannon that we didn't have money for. And I told him whenever I figured that out, when we got done with things, I'd let him know. So him and another buddy donated me $3,000 to buy our trees and our lighting, and also enough to put. We're fixing to rebuild our flower planters,
Oh,
and they gave
neat.
us enough money to do that.
That's awesome. That's so, those little bits that add up into a greater whole are always
Right.
amazing. So, you know, you have such a beautiful arc of how you got engaged in Dungannon, and a lot has changed in town over time since you've gotten engaged. What inspired you to become involved, to run for mayor, to become engaged with Dungannon originally?
When I first got here, we got moved in and everything. I got to know some of the people in the neighborhood and stuff. And there was a little trailer over there that had a pool hall in it, had a couple of pool tables, and some of the young boys would come over and shoot pool. And we had snacks and stuff. And of course, I'd buy them snacks and give to them so they'd have something to eat. And as time went on, the pool hall kind of shut down. And I got involved. They asked me if I would run for council member. They needed somebody to run. And I was like, I don't know about that. I've never done anything like that. So they kept on. I finally decided, well, yeah, I will. So I run for that. And then I was a council member for about 13 months and our mayor quit. So I became interim mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me. And I got to realizing after I became mayor, all those young boys that came and shot pool with us and stuff wasn't here in town no more.
Mm.
And I was like, what happened to my boys? And we're all in jail.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
where the pool hall had left, they didn't have nothing to do. So they ended up getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like there was nothing in this town for the kids to do to keep them occupied and to keep them away from drugs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out in the community and just started talking to them and the other kids that were still here and how they felt about how their life was in Dungannon.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we don't have anything. Said, we don't even have a playground. And had four little girls walked up to me one time and said, Mayor Horne, said, what's wrong with us?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what do you mean, what's wrong with you? I said, you're all four beautiful ladies. And they're like, well, there must be something wrong. Said, Nicholsville has a playground. St. Paul has a playground. Keensport has playgrounds. I said, we don't have anything. I said, what's wrong with us? And that's when I told them, I said, it's not you all. I said, your government in town, your mayor and your council members have let you down.
Mm-hmm.
They have not got out and worked to get you the things that you need. And I told them, that's what I'm here for. This is what I like to hear, what I know I need to work on in our community to make this a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one of our visioning sessions, there was a little 8-year-old boy in there. And Frank was asking questions. What would you like in the town of Dungannon and things like that? He kept raising his little hand, kept raising his hand. Finally, Frank called him and said, yeah, you said, what would you like to have in Dungannon? He stood up big and proud and he said, I want a place that my friends want to come to. But he said, more than anything, that they want to come back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I knew then I had a big job to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what has pushed me to do what I do.
Mm. In your heart, you felt that connection in your heart. Yeah.
They you could see it in their eyes. They craved and needed somebody just to ask them, what do you want?
Absolutely.
And they've
Yeah.
never had that.
Mm-hmm. And to hear them and to work to make it happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to make it. And I have worked all week trying to get a hold of him, but he's not been in town.
Hmm.
I wanted to ask him the question before I talked to you.
Hmm.
I wanted to ask him, how do you feel about Dungannon now? And I hadn't been able to get a hold of him, but when I do, I'm going to ask him that question and I will email his answer to you.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that because I know, it's been in your heart and how hard you worked to create change. So I look forward to hearing what you say. So it sounds like kids wanting to know that their voice matters, that they have a place to be able to share their voice and what their vision is. And you've heard what kids have said and you've worked hard to make it happen. What have been some of the changes that you've worked for in Dungannon to build resilience or to grow Dungannon? What does that look like for you since you've been mayor?
It's been hard. It's been really hard because a lot of people in the town of Dungannon doesn't want to accept change. They're afraid that if we change things and get more business, get things, they're afraid the town will be crowded and they like their quiet, quaint town. And I told them I understand that, but you also have to realize that things have to grow. That's what helps our children grow. And you also have to understand that these children are the ones that's going to be sitting in my chair.
Mhm.
And as council members, and you need to give them the opportunities that they deserve. And these kids deserve that just as much as any other town and children do. And I
Yes.
want the kids in this town to understand that they are, they mean a lot to everybody, and they are loved and they are cared about. And we also done a thing called Get Up and Move. And we were able to get stuff for children like our zip lines. We've got all kinds of zip line walking things for them. We've got gigantic 20-foot movie screen for them and movies. We got a fire pit up at the square now where
Oh,
they can
cool.
have marshmallows or hot dogs. We've got benches up there. It's all landscape now with beautiful trees and flowers. And it, it just, they just love stuff like that and they can't wait. But where the coronavirus has been, all this equipment and stuff that we've got for them, they've not even been able to use yet.
Oh,
And
is
that's hurt us a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is the park closed right now?
Yeah, we've kept it. Well, they can go up there and sit and do things if they want to and get on Wi-Fi, but we've not had anything in here because our attorney told us, that it is a liability to the town when you bring a group in, and if they was to get COVID and stuff during that event or something, then it wouldn't be good for us. So we've not had anything.
So you're ready. You're ready for
And
COVID
that's
to
been
move
really
on
hard.
to be able to have people for the things that you've
Yes,
worked hard
ma'am.
to build. I imagine. Hoping to transform that area to the playground at some point, do you think?
Yes, I am. That was one of the things. The only reason I run again for this was I'm still fighting to get that property back. Uh, there's no cattails back there. There's nothing there now. We mowed it down. It's nice, pretty grass when it's mowed.
Mhm.
There's electrical wires back there underground, telephone underground wires. There used to be 3 trailers back there.
So you've had this vision of the playground and what you want to do, and then you've hit these roadblocks with the septic and the water treatment area, and it sounds like you've met a lot of struggles along the way in terms of how to realize what vision you've heard from kids in Dungannon and what you've heard from other people. How has that affected you, or has that been kind of like fodder for growth, or has that kept you from wanting to do more? How has that struggle inspired you or held you back from working in Dungannon?
It has really helped me back. It really hurt me really bad that somebody would take property away from children. If it was for some other project or something besides the children, it wouldn't have been so bad. But I mean, it was a simple playground, and the vision of it was the children were back here where they were safe. They wasn't near the road. They wasn't near. We could separate the older kids from the younger kids and keep the language and stuff down with the younger ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just going to be a beautiful place with nature trails back here. We got so much stuff we could do back here.
Mm.
And I wanted to make the older boys one of those just a hump of dirt where they ride their bicycles around and stuff like that, and their skateboards. I had so much, and a splash pad. That splash pad has been my main objective for my kids. They've wanted a pool for so long, and of course, we can't handle the liability of it. So I asked them about a splash pad, and yeah, oh yeah, Well, then when we lost our property, we lost our splash pad.
Mm.
Oh, it has affected me. It almost pushed me to the point of not even running again
Mm.
and just giving up.
Mm.
But when you see the kids in here, you can't give up. You have to. So I signed up for it again for 2 more years, and that's what I'm going to work on, is trying to get the kids a splash pad and try to get their playground and to get our old country store building built back.
Mm. And what are some of the things that inspire you to keep going? You've talked about the kids. What has it been like working with the broader community in Dungannon and the broader region? What gives you inspiration to run again, to keep going?
My management team, all the people on my management team, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd have got done anything what I got done, except for what I learned through Kirby.
Mm.
And but I have a good community of people now, of people that care about Dungannon and actually really want it to grow. And anytime they see me down or anything, they'll come in and they lift me back up and they said, "Oh, you can't quit now. We got to have you to do this." And all they have to do is mention the children, and that's it. It's like, okay,
Mhm,
I'll
mhm.
do this.
Yeah.
But I've gotten really tired lately, and I think it's just a treatment.
Mhm.
Energy levels real low, stay fatigued real bad, but and stomach don't feel good a lot. But other than that, I mean, I'm still going. I've been still working with High Knob Enhancement Corporation. I've been on Zoom calls with them. Some days I feel like getting on Zoom calls, and some days I don't. I don't wear makeup. Today's the first day I've had makeup on in 2 years.
Wow. Oh, Mayor Horne. That's right. Well, you look beautiful, and you look like you do
Oh,
have
thank
energy
you.
to me, but you do look strong to me.
Oh,
Yeah. Mm.
how I'm a fighter. I'm not a quitter.
Yeah, I know, which is part of why you're so inspiring. So what has it been like working with these other towns up and down the Clinch? You know, what has been inspiring or hard with working folks up and down the river?
I think it's been very easy working up and down the river. The people are amazing. The things that are going on from Tazewell to the state line, it's just, to me, it's out of this world, because for a long time we sit idle. Our wheels were spinning and nowhere to go, no way to go. We lost our coal and everything. And now you start in Tazewell and you see the changes that's happened up there, and you come on down to Clint and you look at Honaker and Lebanon, Dank, little small town of Dank, that nothing. I mean, it's absolutely nothing. And now they have playgrounds and they're growing. And St. Paul, Cleveland, Cleveland's got campgrounds, and they're doing really good and making it with their revitalization and all. They had a little trouble with their sewer plant, but they've got everything back up to normal and doing good. St. Paul, they're growing profusely and doing so good up there with their hotel and their the Sugar Hill Brewery and all. And then you come down to Dungannon, and we're doing good. We had a business to come in, the Pacific plant down there, and they were doing cutting trees and doing mulching and stuff like that. And then we hit a snag there. We had a wrong bunch of people over it and it got in a lot of trouble, so we had to shut it down.
Mhm.
We've had several businesses come in the auction house down there. Uh, it They've had auctions in there, and then the next they stopped that, and then they had a restaurant, and then it closed down because of COVID. And then one of our council members opened it back up, called Midtown Cafe, in September, and she done really good through till January. And right now she's shut down for, I think, 2 months, and she's going to try to figure out some other things that she can do to bring in to the building, as music, more auctions. She's trying to get good auctioneers and things like that. So we've done a lot of good things there. I look for another business to come into the Louisiana Pacific building down there, but they're waiting until the legalities and the trials and everything are over with before we can bring somebody in. But I look for that to grow. I've got about 2 or 3 people want to put businesses in here, but I just don't have no place to put them.
Wow. In terms
We,
of
we've
physical
got,
locations for buildings?
right, yes.
Wow. So how do you deal with that? What do you say to people when they want to have a business? That's a tricky place to be.
It is. Frank and I are going to, our 700,000 CBD grant ends March the 31st. And we've not tapped into, the tobacco allotment, ARC, or Bethesda, either one. And we're hoping to build back the country store building with an apartment upstairs, just like it was,
Mhm.
and be able to put a business in the bottom and have the top for if someone's coming off the river and it's late in the evening or something and they can't go no further, then we'd have a place for someone to stay, and would be nice to have. So that's a big project that we're going to be starting on in April, I'm sure. And then
Cool.
we've also got another CBG project that we're applying for right now, is replacing all of our water lines in Dungannon.
Which is a big project, I imagine.
Yes, a very big project. So we're excited about that too. Businesses, the Midtown Cafe down there in that one building could be, and she's talking about maybe buying and purchasing that building. And if she can segregate it off into about 3, she could add 3 shops in there and still have her restaurant and all. So we've got people wanting to do a beauty salon. I've got a lady wanting to open up a sewing shop. She's got a quilt machine. She wants to quilt and wants to be able to teach the girls in our town how to sew and stuff. Uh, and then I've got somebody wanting to open up a tanning bed place. So there's just little things. We got people want to open up canoeing, kayaking. I think we're going to have that covered. Someone, I'm not exactly for sure, but I believe someone has bought our campground.
Whoa, someone has bought the campground.
So if they bought that, so that campground hopefully will be opened up, and maybe that'll pick up some more stuff in here.
That's exciting. How have people responded to the changes that in Dungannon over time? Has there been community support, and how have you engaged the community in some of the changes that have been happening in Dungannon over time?
Um, well, most people don't like the thought of change, but I've had a lot of people come back and say the town has never looked as good as it looks now, and how inviting it is. And we've still got a few things on the coming where you first come into town. We need to do some things there as far as fixing up and maybe having something like maybe a fountain or something to have a nice look to come into Dungannon. That's one thing. Another thing that we need to work on. Uh, most it's funny because most of your people that really love the change in here is people outside of town.
Hmm.
The people inside town are iffy. They're like, you put that up there, but you've not done nothing with it. And I'm like, you have to understand COVID's been going on, so we can't do nothing yet. But once this is over with, you'll see a big difference in this town as far as kids out playing, because we've got checkerboards up there in the old post office where they can play checkers on the floors. We've got nets and stuff where they can play volleyball, kickball, badminton, tennis. Um, and most of your people out of town really loves and says the change in here has been immaculate. But you just explain to the people that has a negative attitude that look at what it's done for the kids. If you look at the kids, the difference in the kids, we have less kids getting in trouble. They're more active and being more involved in town. And if I'm out cleaning out flower beds or something and they come by, they stop and help.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen kids now go through town and they will actually pick up the trash and put it in the trash cans.
Awesome.
They're like, we want our town clean.
That's awesome.
So
I love
it's
that.
been worth it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love the smile that brings to your face. What else brings you joy about what's happening in Dungannon, or what excites you about the future in Dungannon?
Still, I feel like it's exciting, the changes we've already made, and the technology changes alone uh, has really pleased a lot of people in here, want to be able to drive up and pay for their water bill using their debit card. And it, I feel like we're growing, and I feel like we're going to keep growing because we've got a good group of people in here that work together now, and we all get involved together. If we're out cleaning, we're all down there cleaning. And I believe that I just get excited thinking of what it's going to be later on, especially when we get a few more businesses in and things are going. I think Dungannon and the people's going to see that the growth of it is, and what's happened has made a difference in their life as well as the children, but mostly in the children's life, that they have a place to look forward to and a future to look forward to.
Beautiful. That's, yeah, so beautiful. So, what do you say to folks, Mayor Horne, when someone says, I see the changes happening in Dungannon. How can I get started in my community? How would you, offer words of wisdom to someone in a community who might feel like they don't know where to start?
Oh, first thing I say is put yourself out there. And that's something that was really hard for me to do because I was never a type of person to go out in front of people or to talk to people and stuff like that. And it's brought me, I don't know, it's just brought me a lot of joy. Just, I just think things are just going to really be really good.
Mm-hmm. Already happening. And what happens if someone calls you from Cleveland and says, Mayor Horne, how do I get involved in things? Or if someone calls you from, you know, further down towards the state line, what kind of words of wisdom or advice would you offer someone who's trying to create change in their own town?
Well, by putting yourself out there, you need to get out and see what initiatives is going on. Get in, look and see what would fit your town. And by talking to the other towns, it's, I call them my information highway. The towns all the way up through, because I went to my second curvy meeting, and it was in Lebanon, and then the next one was in Cleveland. So I attended it because I'd never been there and I wanted to see what it was like. Well, when I drove through town and seen their town was like our town, it was small, kind of run down. Uh, and I thought, wow, they just got 700,000 some dollar CBD grant. How did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
And going through Kirby and getting all my knowledge and learning, you learn so much from each town. So when I have a question and I wanted to start revitalization, I went to the other towns that had already started their downtown revitalization to see what they had done, uh, what should I do and what should I not do, and can you help guide me to get started with this? And that's how it works now. And it's so nice to have all these towns to be able to, all of us work together to create an awesome place for Southwest Virginia, and to watch things move again and each little town growing and the little specialties that each town has, like St. Paul has their four-wheelers and their ATV trails and stuff. And we have the Clinch River right here in the mountain, and we all focus on all this, but it's nice to have that information highway. I tell them, just get yourself out there, check in with Clinch River Valley Initiative, see what you can learn there. And if that don't, then hit High Knob Enhancement Corporation. They've got good knowledge of everything that's going on and what we're doing up there, and trying to get a lot of tourism to move up that way by building mountain bike trails, We're working on the campgrounds up there, getting electricity for uh, the one above Big Stone Gap there, and where we can have they have mountain music there, a festival there, and we're getting a lot of work done there, and we're hoping eventually one day to maybe have zip lining and all kinds of different things for up on top of the mountain as well as for down here. So what I look at is what's happening up there. If I had a bike shop down here and they were mountain biking riding, then if someone hit a tree or tire, bust a tire or something, then they could say, hey, we could go down to Dungannon, we'll drop the tire off to get it fixed while we stop over here and eat. So
Yeah.
you look at it as everybody works together. We all pull together with everything we have, and we put it out there as a big tourism package. And I think Southwest Virginia is going to grow a whole lot within the next 5 to 10 years.
Beautiful. It sounds like outdoor recreation, especially in the time of COVID, has really boomed in terms of people exploring more and finding places and where are the bike trails and where can I get in the river? And it sounds like that has been a real growth area in the last years. Have you experienced that?
Yes, we've seen a lot of people. There's more people coming down the river all the time, and it's amazing. I sit on my back porch and wave at everybody, and it just tickles me to death to see more and more people. Our only problem is the Clinch River. It's up, but in the summer it's down, and it's it's a little hard to choose the right times to canoe and kayak. But for slow tubing and stuff like that, it's wonderful in the summertime. It's just great.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I love the image of people coming down the river and you waving at them. That's such a great image. What do you wish someone, so when you started this work, I know there was a little hesitancy in the town to create change, still some hesitancy today. Is there anything, any piece of advice? You've already said so many beautiful words of wisdom about, engaging kids and working as a region and learning from each other and, seeing what, how things can grow. Are there any words of advice or words of wisdom that you wish someone had told you 5 or 10 years ago, or anything else that you might offer to others as they're trying to stay engaged to create change where it's so hard often?
I guess I'm so blessed to have as much help as I've had during this time. And it's the blessing of people to you being able to do things. You have to know people. You have to know people within DHCD, within your own planning district. You need to get involved with them and find out what they have. DHCD, see, Lena Wisco has helped a lot. People in general. It all gives you all these people that they uplift you and talk about what a good job you've done and all. But it's not that I've done, it's that we've all done together as a group in our town. And I'm just blessed to have so many people in the town. I have Curvy, I have High Knob Enhancement Corporation, I have Lena Wisco, the HCD, the tobacco allotment. I have the senators that's in Gate City, Terry Kilgore, and all of them that help back me. And I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed to have met all the people I've met.
Beautiful.
And they're the ones that keep me going and make me want to do what I.
So drawing your inspiration and strength from other people who have your back, keep you going. Keep ideas rolling.
I think what I do, I try to gather up or harness in different people. You see different things in different people. So you try to harness their inner strengths of each one of us has different inner strengths. And I think our management team ended up with such a diversity of ideas and things like that. And it just getting the group and harnessing those inner strengths is the best way, I think, to help create change or to help meet even a challenge or whatever that you're doing. Uh, that helps.
Yeah, beautiful. So well said. Harnessing everyone's inner strengths. I love that. I love that. And Mayor Horne, as we get ready to wrap up, what would you say are some of your key strengths? You know, you bring so many, and I know you're modest, but what would you say have been some of the things that have really sustained you for your own strengths in this work?
I've had to dig deep of my inner strengths at sometimes. Here lately, I've really looked inside really hard, trying to gather up what I need to keep going. Uh, when you when you deal with something that might take you away from here and take you away from what you're doing, you try to pull harder on your inner strengths to try to get done what you can get done while you're here. Uh, there's so much to be done. I know I can't do it all, but I hope to leave. I hope to leave this office with the encouragement and the information that other people needs to know to keep this going and to not ever let this slide back where we were,
Mm-hmm.
because we've moved so far forward that it's really it's an inner strength that you have to really work hard to pull out
Mm-hmm.
when you have other things to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And so it
But I
sounds
wouldn't change it for the world.
Digging deep into those places that are hard. And so it sounds like also sharing those lessons with others and information with others. But sometimes it sounds like, you know, I think about you going through treatments and also leading the town, and how much strength that must take, and how a lot of people would say, you know, I'm done. I'm gonna go rest. And it's amazing to me. It really is amazing to me, the strength that you've shown. And I think it's a real it's inspiring in so many ways. And also rest, the need
I
for
appreciate
rest.
that.
Yeah, the need for rest is so real. And for caring for yourself. What has allowed you to find rest in yourself? What are ways you're taking care of yourself these days, and all that is happening in the world?
I have finally learned that I have to take care of myself. And that's been a hard thing for me to deal with, is because I'm one that wants to go and keep this going and fight like a Dickens to get where we're wanting to get to. And I don't know. It's uh, hmm, I'm at a loss for words now, believe it or not.
It sounds like also the people around you have really buoyed you in recent years and kept you going strong. Are there any other reflections or thoughts you want to
Yeah.
share with folks as we get ready to wrap up today? Any other ideas?
Never give up. Never give up. Always, if somebody knocks you back one step, you're going to move forward 2 or 3 more steps. Don't let it stop you. Don't don't let people's words go too far into your heart. Take them and listen to them and take those words, even though it's words sometimes you don't want to hear, and make something good out of it and prove that it can be changed
Mm,
and that change is a good thing. And it's things that we do need to do.
Mhm. Beautiful. So well said. So well said. Well, thank you, Mayor Horne, so much for joining today. I so appreciate you and I appreciate our conversation. So thank you so much. Um,
I appreciate you too.
yeah.